I remember a while back I made two videos like this, one for support and one for tank. I was meant to make this video when I was making those videos, but I got distracted. And honestly, I was pretty inexperienced with DPS, which is why I'm making this video now. I've been queuing DPS a lot more and studying what pro players like PGE and Stalker do in their games to dominate the enemy teams, and in this video, I'm going to tell you which heroes to play in order to rank up. I'll get into it in a minute, but first I'm going to ask you to subscribe, as I want to keep making Overwatch 2 related content that isn't only entertaining, but informative too. Now, let's talk DPS. In my other videos like this, I gave a definitive single pick as to who you should play to climb on both tank and support, but I can't do this for DPS. The role itself revolves around two playstyles, these being dive and poke. So really you should have minimum of 2 heroes in your personal roster, one for each situation. All we have to do is look at the top 500 leaderboard and it will confirm exactly what I'm saying. A lot of people in top 500 have both a ranged and close to mid-ranged hero in their roster, these generally being Tracer, Ashe, and Cassidy. These are the 3 heroes I'd personally recommend you pick up if you want to climb effectively, because they're all very good for their own reasons. Maps and game modes play a huge part on who you should pick because they're so diverse and each hero works differently on each map. For example, on a map like Circuit Royale where there's lots of opportunities to play at a range, I like playing Ashe because I know I can be more effective from way back in the backline on both defend and attack. Whilst on a map like King's Row, where there's lots of areas to flank and play inside, deviating from the path the payload takes, I like playing Tracer because I can throw the enemy off by diving them and using the architecture to my advantage on the flank. This is what I mean by each hero is very good for their own reasons. Different heroes have different levels of effectiveness on some maps and against different comps, so who you play is basically entirely situational. This leads me back to what I briefly said about being effective on both defense and attack. Just like how some heroes are more effective on specific maps, some heroes are more effective on the defense than the attack and vice versa. This applies to every role, but on DPS you really need to take this into consideration because otherwise you're going to be doing very little to help out your team. It's no good playing Tracer on defense if you can't get into the enemy backline, so do both yourself and your teammates a favour. Swap to someone who's a bit more effective at a range like Ashe and you'll see your team winning more fights because the overall damage output of the team is higher now that you're playing someone who's effective at a range on the defense, rather than struggling to go in and get kills wherever you can. Alternatively, if you're getting dived on the Ashe, you could just swap to Cassidy with his big hinder grenade. It is cheap, but it does work, hence why people in top 500 play him. It's just a nice little get out of jail free card, it's kind of like Sombra's Translocator. But that just about does it for this video. So, TLDR, there isn't one definitive pick for which DPS you should play to climb the ranks in comp, because your picks are ultimately pretty situational. It's better to play flex so you can cover all kinds of bases like diving the enemy backline or slowly poking the enemy team so you can push up at a steady pace. Plus, if your DPS teammate is covering one thing, you can cover the other thing. The way I like to see it is that if I'm being an annoying little shit in the enemy backline on Tracer, then the other DPS can get a pick on them whilst they're distracted. It looks like I'm not doing much, but I'm actually doing a fair amount because my sniper is ready to pop their head off. It's mind games, people. Anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm going to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video as it lets me know that you've enjoyed it and want to see more. Hopefully now you have a better understanding of who to pick in what situations. I mean, play whoever you want and have fun, I'm not the boss of you, but you did just watch this entire video, so maybe take some things from this. Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure you check out some of my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.